Good afternoon, everybody. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different this afternoon and do a little bit of an explainer video about how we prep our cars, and generally the misconception that people think we'll put a big margin across our cars and we just sell them and that profit's all ours, when in real life it generally isn't. So I'm going to show you two cars which came in part exchange in the last probably 2 to 3 weeks, both of them, and they're both going out tomorrow, and what we spent on them to get them to the standard that we want them to be, that gives us the reputation that we have. So I'm going to spin the camera around and let's show you what we've done. So these are the two cars. They're both being collected by their new owners tomorrow, and I spent preparation over £2,000 on prepping both of them. Now they came in part exchange. This is a little Fiesta, Ford Fiesta, 2013. I knew I'd have to spend money on all these. This isn't a woe is me story, I promise you. This is just to explain a little bit, because I still made my profit out of them, so it certainly isn't a woe is me. But this is a 2013 Ford Fiesta, 1.25 Z-Tech, done 81,000 miles. Okay. I have spent 871, no, I lied, that's the wrong one, £1,184 on this car. £1,184. Now I'm going to show you the invoice to prove it. But it's had 4 new tyres, it's had discs and pads, it has had a timing belt and water pump kit, and a few other little bits done to it as well. And we sold this car for $4,499, and it's getting collected tomorrow. This is the other culprit. So VW Passat came in part exchange, again locally owned. This is a little bit different. There's a bit more of a gamble on this. It's done 148,000 miles. Previous owner said it's a nice car, hasn't given them any problems. And you know, I drove it and it was lovely. But with that kind of mileage, I was a little bit hesitant before I put it on the forecourt, because I have been bitten several times. There are things that you don't know until you get it on a ramp. So I did get a pre-check done at an independent garage before I even put the car on the forecourt, and they did tell me it's going to need tyres and discs and pads, so I did have the margin in this to retail it. And VW Passats generally, you know, they're not going to give me too much grief. Both of these cars, you know, I have to stand by the 6-month sale of goods act to make sure it's fit for purpose and of satisfactory quality. And above and beyond that is my 3-month, 3,000 mile warranty on the pair of them, which I stand by. So if anything goes wrong, I will be paying for it out of my own pocket, you know, the main components. This one I spent £870 on, again, discs and pads and 4 tyres. So the new owners tomorrow are going to be happy with their new cars. And this one I sold for £5,200. So now let's show you the invoice. So this is the VW Passat. So obviously the labour on all the work, front discs and pads, oil and filter service. I only ever promise an oil and filter service. If it needs any more, it gets more. I never ever promise a full service. In this case, it did need the air filter doing as well, and a total of £871. And then we're on the Ford Fiesta. So yep, done 81,000 miles. So the passenger front door had some glass in, so obviously we had to remove that and clean the glass out. It looked like it had been broken at some point. Trap rod ends, front disc and pads, timing belt, water pump, wheel alignment, oil and filter and air filter, tie rod end kit, disc and pads, it's all there. And it says subtotal of 986, but total of that is £1,184. So yes, I do have the margin in it, and that is exactly why we have to have the margin. I do not make £2,000 on my cars. So I've also got to take into consideration the VAT. We're on a margin VAT, so that means you pay the difference between what you paid for it and what you sold for it. The VAT on that is 20%. Obviously got all our overheads, etc. So there's no way that we made £2,000 on our cars. Might be lucky sometimes, and we might get a bill of £100, £200, but that is few and far between. And even then, sometimes they bite us on the bum. So I hope you found this video informative. Yeah, so if you do ever buy a car from me, rest assured we do everything we can in our power to make sure that that car is right when it leaves the forecourt. It doesn't want for anything. Obviously, we can't be 100% sure that it's not going to give you grief. And if it does give you grief, you'll give me grief, and I'll do my best to put it right for you. But we do our best to start with to hopefully minimise that risk for you. So we are still, as I've got these cars going out tomorrow, I've had a couple of handovers today, a couple of handovers at the beginning of the week, I still need cars. So again, I've got another plea to you. If anybody's got a car to sell, particularly less than 10 years old and less than 100,000 miles, if it's slightly over, it's worth giving me a call. But if it's below those requirements, then please, I am paying strong money for good cars. Give me a call. 01353 863 699. Thanks for watching.